Good morning, YouTube. I have got a pretty busy day today. Not necessarily busy in a lot of work across town or around town, but busy in that I've got a lot to do on one job, and it starts with the lady that I did the gas log repair troubleshooting for. We are going to do a duct test, and then we're going to pressure, and then we're going to seal up the ductwork, and then once the duct sealing is done, we're going to pressure test again. The part that makes that a little more interesting is that we're looking at two separate systems on the same house for all processes. So it won't be necessarily, pressure test, seal, pressure test. It'll be pressure test, seal, pressure test, seal, pressure test. The crawl space is not particularly comfortable or forgiving. It's pretty low, and both of the toe kick registers on the first floor have got locational issues. One of them, underneath the kitchen sink, splits a support beam in the cabinet, so half of the boot hole is on one side, half of the boot hole is on the other, and then the other one is just off at an angle away from the opening in the front of the toe kick. So really not a major difficulty, but definitely a little bit aggravating. How do you pressure test a boot like that? How do you seal a boot like that? I've got some sheet metal with me so that we can try to build a little dog house or turtle back for the registers. It could be interesting. I'm going to do my best to make sure that I get some video for you. Another thing that I'm going to do is balance the system. I've got the Testo 420 flow hood, and we're going to balance the airflow. From what I could tell, there are air dampers in everything upstairs. That will add to the interest of the workload and interest of the video, as long as I can get enough video to make it worthwhile. Come on. I'm trying to load the HouseCall Pro app. It's not necessarily doing a bad job, but I seem to be stuck on a Wi-Fi. That's it. I'm on my camera's Wi-Fi network, and that always causes trouble. That should take care of it. Yep. Pops up immediately as soon as I get off the damn Wi-Fi for the camera. Anyway, we'll be over there in just a minute. Stay tuned.
HVAC with Stephen Rardon is sponsored by Retrotec Tools. Quality tools, essential support. TruTechTools.com.
We're going to start with assembly of the flow hood. This particular unit is a demo unit from Testo, and it came with five rods. The rod assembly is not necessarily difficult, but it can be kind of interesting. You got to find the hole where it goes. And I usually start with putting all four rods in place to start, and then I'll move on to raising the frame. And this part is a little weird because it keeps wanting to fall down, but basically you get it up, you put the rod under the corner, and you've got your hood lined up. And then there's some nylon or Velcro straps to hold it in. Gotta take those loose. And then you can lift it out. It's extremely light, very easy to carry, even with one hand. And on this side, we've got the 420 manometer. Really is a nice manometer. So we've got it 8 to 10 a.m. 12/19/2017. I'm going to start with the return and get a measurement there. We've got the 420 device here on the wireless app, and we're gonna record this information while we make the measurement, just for ease of display use there. But I'm gonna go ahead and make the measurement. Showing a measurement of 695 CFM. 699. So we get about 700, just under 700 CFM total, which is a little bit concerning because we've got a 2-ton system and it's only moving 700 CFM. I'm going to move over and take some airflow measurements at some other registers. This register is showing about 120 CFM. Bathroom register is definitely the shortest. And this one is right about 100. We'll move on to this bedroom over here. See if I can find a light. This one's showing about 170. This register is showing about 150, maybe 160. And then we've got the ducts that are in the room where we assembled the flow hood. This register is at about 110. This one is also about 110, maybe a little more. So, overall airflow measurement was about 700, and then we had 100 at 7 different registers. I have not done a static pressure test yet, and it looks like maybe I lost my app connectivity, so we'll see what that turns into. We'll just have to deal with it as it is. Next in line is going to be the duct pressure test. Duct pressure test. We've got airflow in and out about what we're looking for, and now we're looking for pressure test before we proceed. When you're looking to seal off supply registers, the method I had always used was the roll of tape. It's a very wide tape, and it sticks really good to a lot of things, but that can be problematic if you've got a sensitive ceiling. And so something that I got my hands on earlier was basically a pressure pan box. It's got a string with a little plastic hook in it, on it, and when you've got a securely mounted register, makes it easy to take it up and then pull the string to allow you to seal off the boot, and it allows you to pressure test the whole fixture rather than, pressure tests the fact that the boot is either connected to the sheetrock or sealed to the sheetrock or not. If you were to plug the boot with a piece of foam rubber, like a 4x10 or 4x12 insert that would plug the boot, you wouldn't be testing the leakage of the boot frame to the sheetrock. So this is something that I'm really glad to have my hands on when it comes to ceiling mounted duct testing. I'm going to go through and get all the other ones, and we'll meet you back at the return. This return duct flange, where the piece you would use to tie into the return, has got some spring-loaded hooks here. That you can use to secure this to the grill. We would still need to tape off the rest of it, but the springs help secure it to the grill so you don't have to worry about it falling down. Gives you a nice tight fit there. And then your flex duct to tie in with the duct tester will connect to the collar here. Maybe that's a little bit of overkill to go through the trouble of making it square like that and trimming around the collar. But hey, in the pursuit of perfection, what is overkill? All right. I just thought of something that is necessary for pressure testing, and that is a tap for the pressure gauge. So I think I'm going to modify one of those boots, the vent covers, so that I can put a manometer hose on it. I was getting ready to modify one of the boots, and I thought, hey, I'll modify the one with the blue string rather than the one with the neon green string. And the one with the blue string already has a tap in it. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. There's a manometer stub. So we're going to replace one of the registers with that one. And we'll get ready to test. So what's cool about whoever designed these vent covers is that they understand duct testing. And the blue hose is what you use for pressure test. So the blue hose matches the blue string, and we're ready to roll. We're going to start with the medium ring assembly as our starting point. And we'll plug in our umbilical. It's very easy because it's color coded. Green to green, yellow to yellow. The DM32 manometer is what we're using here. Green to green, yellow to yellow. And then the blue umbilical cord goes to blue. Need to change the type of machine we're working with. Duct Tester 240. We're going for mid. We're going to capture a baseline. We got a negative 2.3 Pascal baseline. We're going to set pressure at 25. And it would help if I had power on. All right. I'd say we got a pretty decent test. It's not obscene. We're leaking about 129 CFM at 26 pascals. The next thing would be to go through and seal it up. 129 CFM is not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we can definitely tighten it up a good little bit. So we'll move on to sealing and testing again. Good morning, YouTube. I didn't finish up last night until after dark, and then I didn't feel like shooting a video in the dark with the light in the van and all that. So I figured I would try to summarize today instead. I'm going to try to go back to do maintenance on the systems. I was going to do that yesterday, but time ran out after dealing with the toe kick registers and trying to get everything tightened up. But anyway, I think the camera is about ready to die. All right, fresh battery. So I was able to get the numbers to improve for both systems. Pretty happy with how they turned out, actually. I kind of screwed up on the first floor duct system because when I was taping off the registers, I forgot to. So my initial test showed massive leakage, 656 CFM on a 2.5 ton system. So that, you know, looked like something that was going to be a lot of fun to try to resolve, but then I realized when I was going around starting to seal the boots that I was missing the tape on 2 of the registers. So when I went back after sealing everything up and relocating a couple of boots, I duplicated the initial test. So I had 656 CFM of leakage with 2 registers open, and I duplicated that test, all of the same registers open, or the 2 registers were still open, and everything else was taped off as much as possible, and my leakage went down to 295. So I made more than a 50% improvement, even though I forgot to tape off 2 of the registers. while the duct tester was running, I went ahead and finished the tape on the last two, and I ended up with 111 CFM of leakage. Now, this is all in realization that I didn't take the proper test reading. I was supposed to take CFM per 100 square feet. So the numbers that I've got are comparative, but they don't actually follow back to a standard. It's my fault. I should have been paying closer attention and, you know, recorded the information properly. But air changes per hour and CFM of leakage do give you an indication of, you know, how much leakage you had and how much you've improved, whether or not you actually go to the SMACNA standard. It would be nice to have a comparative to the SMACNA standard, but it is what it is. The 111 CFM that we ended up with on the one downstairs system is not I don't know if I could get much tighter without destroying or cutting out the bottom of the cabinets where the toe kick registers are. Previously, they were both splitting a cabinet support beam, so they were blowing into cavities under the cabinets where there was not a relief grill, and there was no turtleback or channel to direct air from the boot specifically to the toe kick register. So I relocated both boots so that they wouldn't be blowing underneath two sections of the cabinet, and I built a doghouse, or whatever you want to call it. We call them turtlebacks here in North Carolina. Built a turtleback to take the air from the boot and direct it to the toe kick. But I couldn't get under there to mastic paint nearly what I would like to. So it's as good as can be done without cutting out the bottom of the cabinet. I may discuss it with the customer and see if they would be agreeable to cutting out the cabinet a little to try to get those tighter. But to cut leakage down apples to apples, 656 to 295, I'd say that's pretty significant. I really wish I had got the numbers with everything taped off before, so that the 111 was actually a good comparative, but it is what it is. I'm headed back there today to finish up the maintenance. Got a gas furnace in the attic, and I think it's a 1997 Carrier 58 RAV or something, off the top of my head. 50,000 BTU, 3-ton blower drive. Downstairs we've got a 68,000 BTU Lennox 15 SEER minibus. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a GCS XAV or something. So that one I'd have a hard time trying to do maintenance while it's raining without getting soaked or potentially damaging my test equipment. So if it doesn't let up by about 10 o'clock, I may go do the second floor unit, since it is in the attic, and then go back for the downstairs unit. But we'll play it by ear and see how it goes. Stay tuned.